Hey everyone, I am working on the radial drill again, and I'm cracking on with removing the rest of the small parts from the main body of the drill, which of course includes that very stuck pinion from last time. I've got a few ideas on how that's going to come out, but let's start with the main drive shaft, the cone and the back gears. I managed to free up this assembly about a year ago, and now there's only two things stopping this drive shaft from going out the back end. This casting is part of the main body of the drill, so that can't be removed or unbolted like it can on some machines. The only way of removing this thing is driving it out from the inside. Now the first thing stopping it from coming out is the bevel wheel on the inside of here, which I will show you in a minute, and that is keyed on. The second thing is this ball wheel, which is keyed to the shaft. The cone pulley spins freely if I disengage it from the ball wheel, and this was all freed up a while ago as well. There's a little nut in here which slides down, and that means the cone pulley can spin. And then if you engage these gears on the back, known as back gears, I don't know why, it means you get a further reduction on speed. And they've locked up for some reason. Anyway, so if we can get the shaft to slide through the ball wheel and the key out the pinion, in theory, this whole thing will go in that direction. First thing to do is have a go at removing these back gears so we've got a bit more space around the main drive shaft. There we go. Yeah, you can see they're on an eccentric, which means they can be pulled in and out of position. Yeah, that's them. If it's anything like all the machines I've taken apart before, it'll just be a keyed sliding fit held captive by the cone on this side and the main casting on the other. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of heat just to help it, and then we'll go inside and attack that bevel. This is the set of bevels inside the radial, and this is the end of the drive shaft. This is the bottom of the upright column, which we removed in the last episode, and this bevel's keyed on, and they've got a big lip behind them. In theory you can get a drift in there and tap it out, but you can't swing a goldfish in here. So I'm going to use the plan that I've used previously on this machine, which works well. It's a bit of a puller that I made, and this is probably a similar angle of attack that I'm going to use for the stuck pinion. Okay, let's have a go. I have to bend that rod slightly, I think, and get in there. Talk about bloody awkward. Of course.
Yeah. There we go. Oh my God, that's loose. Happy days. You don't know how happy that makes me. That's one less thing to fight with, isn't it?
What have I got? That hasn't seen the light of day in a very long time. What happened there? Suddenly felt very loose. You beauty. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. Oh. I left it drift in there, it's not very helpful, is it? No disasters. There you go. So this cone is all one casting. The pinion might be pressed on there actually. It could also be one casting, I don't know, the de-rusting and degreasing will reveal that. But inside, I always find really impressive about these is just the intricacies of the core of that casting. And this one, I've never seen before. If I take all the wildlife out of it. There they are, some spider colonies in there. Probably Victorian ones as well. But these struts, look, you've got 3 supportive struts. That's some complicated core. And obviously the little oil pipe which comes in from the outside, which allows you to lubricate this, because when it's running in back gear, it's freewheeling on this nice oily shaft there. So, and these notches are the notches I was talking about earlier. Yeah. Which this is the inside of the ball wheel. That's where it was keyed on, and this lug slides up and down, and when it's up and engaged in one of those, it drives, the cone drives this direct. When it isn't and it's locked out of the way, and you tighten it by this nut on the back then when it's out of the way, then it allows the cone to freewheel on the shaft that this is keyed to, and then you can bring the back gears in, and that's what gives you your reduction. So very cool to see all that working. Very common on machines of this age. All the lathes I've taken apart have this style of back gears. Here's the bevel wheels on the inside. Its mate is still in there, that's fixed in here somehow. I've yet to establish that, but I'm sure more work on the column and taking this off here will reveal how that works. So all of this is going to get stored away in a box, but first we're going to have a go at our little friend here, and I'm pretty certain that the only reason this is stuck in here is just rust. It definitely went in that way because this is parallel. It's just some rust and some crud that's sticking it to the sides. So hopefully with some meaningful force in this direction by some kind of custom puller, pretty similar to the puller I used under there to get the key out, except I'm definitely not going to be welding studs and threaded rods to this, so yeah. So let's assemble all of this now and see if it worked, or see if it's going to work. Hopefully you can understand where I'm coming from. Right, that holds that together. They're all really long lengths because I don't want to cut them down just for this specific job. And hopefully a nut will go on the back of there. This is ridiculous. Alright, all set up. Now what's going to happen? When I turn this, So I'm using a bit of heat to help out here. It has moved ever so slightly in this direction, which is the effect that I wanted, but it is still taking an awful lot of force. So I believe there's probably on this side of the pinion some rust on the sides of it, which when it's coming into contact with these two surfaces, causing it to bind up. So I'm just applying some heat to the sides of the casting, the main casting, in the hope that that might persuade these two spigots to expand slightly and give us a bit more room. The heat also might loosen some things up and allow me to get some oil down in there to help out. But we are making progress. Oh, she's coming. Yes. Oh. Finally. And there's an awful lot of corrosion inside there where the rain has got in behind that pinion. And that was, I think, the only thing causing that to be that stuck. Well, the puller worked, never to be used again. And so yeah, that's the side that was stuck in there. And it was just this crusty rust that was binding on the inside of the surface. And that was all that was holding it in. So this is the pinion that the gear engages with, which is in really good condition. You can see where water ingress has just got in here and caused some fairly serious corrosion, but that is a bit pitted, but it's going to be absolutely fine. My biggest concern, I'm not sure if you can see, but down the sides here you can just see that is the inside column, and this entire casting with the arm swivels around that, so water has got down in there. You can see all that rubbish coming out, yeah, and has probably made quite a good job of getting that stuck. So I feel like getting the column to spin is going to be tricky.